The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, she travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
Okay, so this is take 2 of Caterina Dei. Let's try this again. Caterina Dei, I hope you can join us in a little bit. So, Passito wines, it's a Passito wine special. And of course, Passito wines represent a very, very small production. Caterina!
Hello, Stevie. How are you?
Come stai?
Stevie, wonderful to be here talking to you.
You are our 5th guest today. Not today, the past few days. We've invited 7 women producers from all over Italy to join us on this series to talk about Passito. It's a very small, of course, niche production for most of the Italian wine producers, often consumed only on special occasions, like, for example, during the festivities, during the holiday. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to dedicate these 7 women who produce Passito wines in Italy. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's such a treat to be here with you.
So how is it going? What is it like, the holidays in your house, in the cantina?
Stevie, we're getting ready for, the Christmas wishes. Tomorrow we'll have a lunch all together, my team. So, we'll say happy, Merry Christmas to everyone. And of course, there's always so many things to settle before the end of the year. So it's a crazy time of the year doing so many things, it's all of a rush until tomorrow. And then we'll work from the 27th to the end of the year. And then we'll kind of take a break the first week of the new year. But we're all very excited. Things are luckily going well, despite all the difficulties of, the climate last harvest, which has not been easy at all. But on the whole, we're glad, we're happy, and we are a very nice team. So I'm happy. On the whole, I'm happy.
So, Caterina, first of all, tell our audience where your winery is located.
We are located in the Montepulciano area. Cantina, the cellar, is 2 kilometers from the historical center of Montepulciano town, which is a lovely city from the Renaissance. I invite everyone to visit if they don't know the town, which is also called the Pearl of the 15th century, because that's the age, the time when the most important buildings were built. Actually, several very important artists and architects were sent over by the Medici family in Florence in the 15th century. So let's say the pride of our town is this beautiful building that I invite, all the audience to visit. We also have a very important landscape. The richness of the area is, of course, wine together with gastronomy, all very traditional. We have a lot of history of art, again, architecture, and different local products.
Caterina, would you mind explaining to our audience, of course, many of our audience are kind of geeky, but what is the difference between Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, and Montepulciano d'Abruzzo? So
yes.
For once and for all, let's set the record straight.
Yes. Thank you, Stevie, for putting this question, because, it's a crucial kind of issue for us. Because when I travel and I go presenting my wines, I always travel with a map explaining that Montepulciano, the town of Montepulciano, is a beautiful, tiny town from the Renaissance, and it's Tuscany. It's in the Siena
Tuscany,
area.
exactly.
It's Tuscany. In fact, Stevie, we recently we mentioned Toscana on the label.
Ah,
You know,
okay. This is new.
yeah, this was, considered last year. So all the producers write Toscana on their Vino Nobile labels to make it exactly different from Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, where Montepulciano stands for the grape and not for the town, and the region is Abruzzo and not Toscana. The wines are really different because our Vino Nobile is made of Sangiovese. One very important thing to say is that this specific Sangiovese that we grow in Montepulciano is also called Prugnolo Gentile. Prugnolo because it has to do with prugna, which is the plum, the fruit, and in fact, both the color of the grape and the scents and the taste really show the prugna, which is the plum. And it's a gentle Sangiovese. It's gentile, meaning it's soft, it's round in the nose, and it's round, of course, the palate. So it's a gentle Sangiovese. So it's another thing. It's another story from the wines of Abruzzo that are really, really something else.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a confusion about that. So we can talk about this like all day for 8 hours, but today we're going to dedicate a little love, some love to, of course, the Passito. Your Passito wine is, of course, Vinsanto di Montepulciano DOC. Tell us a little bit about that.
We make a very few bottles, meaning half bottles. It's 375 centiliters.
Mm-hmm.
And, we put like a stamp on the bottle. We numbered the bottle of this production. This is vintage 2018, and the total production is 1,460 half bottles.
Oh my goodness.
And
So
this,
very small production.
very, very small. And this is number 252. So it's our sweet wine. And exactly as you said, Stevie, it's a DOC. The DOC was established in 1996 and then reviewed in 2010. It's a very traditional historical wine from the area. It is made with the typical autochthon varietals such as Trebbiano, Malvasia, and Grechetto.
It's a
blend of these three typical varietals that we grow in one of our vineyards. The grapes are, of course, harvested when they're ripe, but not overripe. So we don't want any botrytis, any mold, so the grapes have to be healthy. So we basically harvest them between September and October. As we all know, the most recent harvest vintages have been so anticipated because of the heat, because of the dryness. So let's say we harvest the last few vintages were harvested, let's say, the beginning of September. So again, the grapes have to be totally healthy. And then we have the grapes laid down on straw. They have to get dry and to raisin until they are still very healthy, dry, but again very healthy, not any botrytis. That's why our Vinsantaya, so called, is under roof where we have a change of temperature between day and night. So the grapes stay in horizontal position for 3 months, basically. And then we press them in January. And of course, what we get is a very concentrated sweet juice. And our Vinsanto is ready to be put in caratellis, very small wood containers of 100, 150 liters.
What is caratelli? They're vessels?
It's a very small wood container. It's a very small, una botticella,
Okay.
we might say. It's a very small little botte can contain 100 to 100, basically 150 liters.
Okay.
So it's really very small.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local foods, and taking in the scenery.
You have also an occhio di pernice, right?
Now, back to the show.
Yes.
What is
We
that?
don't
Can you explain to our audience what occhio di pernice is?
Yes, we don't produce occhio di pernice, but it's a very special Vinsanto only made with Sangiovese, so with
Okay.
red berries. It's absolutely very precious. A few producers make it. A most famous producer of occhio di pernice in the Montepulciano area is Avignonesi.
Mm-hmm.
They make a wonderful, wonderful occhio di pernice. I remember tasting it once years ago by sipping it from a little spoon, from a teaspoon. So it's a very precious thing. Of course, the Vinsanto itself, even if not that occhio di pernice is something very precious because you can guess how limited the yield is.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically the average yield is 20%. So in wine, in Vinsanto is 20% from the original quantity
Right.
of grapes.
So, Caterina, just quickly, we don't really have a lot of time because we wanted to do about 10, 15 minutes here, but how many labels, so we can contextualize the quantity of the Passito wine, Vinsanto, how many labels do you have? And what is the total volume of production?
Our total production is in bottles is 250,000.
Okay.
And yes, we include, of course, the flag is the Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, the most
Exactly.
important wine from the region, and we produce 100,000, 120,000 bottles per year. Then a similar quantity, but less and less in the last few vintages, Rosso di Montepulciano, that I consider the daily important, easy wine to drink. So we can
Right.
consider it a younger brother of the Vino Nobile, very fresh, ready to be drunk, and absolutely, good to be matching almost everything when you want something less important than the Vino Nobile. But the Vino Nobile, of course, is the most important wine of ours. You can keep a bottle of a Vino Nobile for at least 10 years
Mm-hmm.
when it's the right vintage and it's well kept, of course. So just a few words to say, why the name Vino Nobile, which, by the way, is a very important DOCG, and it's one of the very first DOCG distributed on the domestic market. So we got the DOCG in 1981. So somebody says the first, other people say one among very first DOCG on the Italian market, but it's a wine that, begins its history from the Etruscans, so before the Romans, thousands of years ago, because the land of Montepulciano has always been considered highly vocated to the production of red wine. So Vino Nobile, and why the name Nobile? Because during the Renaissance, again, that was the time when we had the golden age, both for the area in terms of political, architectural, and social situation. So that's the time when we hear the name Nobile, because it was the noble wine, so the most important wine reserved to the nobles. So the crowned heads, let's say, or the most important people that approached the area. And also we know that it was the wine that reached out to the crowns of England, crown of France. So that's why Nobile, a noble wine for the nobles. That was the origin of the name.
I wanted to now talk about our favorite part of the conversation, which is the food and wine pairing. What is the Christmas food and wine pairing with your Vinsanto?
I would like to show you
Yeah.
a piece of panforte. This is a very typical ancient
love it.
recipe
I love the fact that you show me everything.
from the Siena area. It's made of, it's a thick bread with spices, with candied fruits such as orange skins, and then other candied fruits like almonds, dried fruits. So very tasty. And I would say, it's a really Christmas recipe. It's a Christmas sweet. And I would say it pairs perfectly with Vinsanto.
Oh, okay. Very good. That sounds fantastic. Listen, Caterina, to close, I'm not sure everybody knows you are a singer. Would you like to sing a song for us?
Okay.
Just a little piece of Christmas or something.
Okay, I was not prepared for this, but and so this is Christmas and a happy new year. I wish everyone Merry Christmas to you all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Caterina. That's a fantastic way to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us, Caterina, and a
Thank
little
you.
song to go with it. And I hope to see you very, very soon. Please, my love to your family and your animals. And I hope
Yes.
to see you in the new year.
Thank you, Stevie. A big hug to you, and I wish you a really merry, happy Christmas, and really looking forward to seeing you again very soon. A big
Absolutely. Buona festa.
kiss. Buona festa. Ciao. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on another installment of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her again next week for more interesting content in the Italian wine scene. You can also find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, to watch these interviews and the footage captured of each location. Chin chin!